Ritesh Agarwal, the founder of Oyo Rooms, is being touted as the poster boy of Indian startup industry. At the age of just 21, he has successfully built Oyo Rooms into a billion-dollar company. It all started in 2008 when Ritesh founded Oravel Stays Private Limited, a platform for short and mid-term rentals for private room and serviced apartments. But later, Agarwal found that discovery was not an issue, but standardization was a problem, which gave birth to Oyo Rooms. Oyo is a budget hotel marketplace which has expanded to over 86 cities with 1500 plus hotels on board. Oyo recently raised a funding of $100 million, which is approximately 630 crores from Japanese major SoftBank. The company plans to recruit over 1,000 employees by the end of next year.
I actually dabbled into the idea of Oyo Rooms. I never came up with the idea or thought about it, and it came up and I started it, right? I was running something called Oravel. During that period, I would actually wake up and stay in a new property every day. Stayed in more than 100 properties, and during the same period was hosting a lot of consumers and guests staying with us. During that period, what we realized was the problem was not discoverability, but the predictability of these accommodations.
Okay.
And the background was, if I were to just give you a jigsaw of experiences, people used to land in the city, call the hotel owner, the guy won't pick up the phone. You reach the hotel, there are no signage boards. You go inside the hotel, receptionist sleeping topless. You get into the bedroom, mattresses are torn. Massive problems out there. Our belief was the only way in which India will travel and stay more at hotels is when you build predictability and trust in hotel experiences, and that would only happen when you deliver something that is like Oyo. So my belief is standardization can make it monotonous, but predictability makes it easier. So here's the thing. Across the country, Oyo Rooms in every form and context would have probably 100 square feet higher or lower room sizes, might have different colors of walls, but you know what will be consistent? That you'll always have 350 thread count, single stripped satin linen. You'll always have 32-inch LCD screens. You'll always have warm white light. So basically, predictability is nothing but trust, but there is also diversity in the kind of hotel. So you have 10-room property, and then you have a 40-room hotel. You have a 5-room cute bed and breakfast, and then you have a mature luxury hotel, which is an Oyo Premium. So we have a significant amount of diversity, but all of this diversity is bounded by single standardization and predictability of quality assurance that Oyo brings with it.
So how did you start it? Like a 18-year-old guy, what were the major challenges you faced?
So I think it was a combination of two things. On one side, there were a lot of challenges. On the other side, there was a lot of excitement because you're a teenager, you're building a great company, you want to solve a large problem, and so on. I think challenges were significant. Every entrepreneur who's seeing this or whom you would have known, you'd hear very regularly that there are challenges almost every day. You can be on an extreme high on the same day, and you can be on extreme low on the same day, and it is a normal process, right? But if I were to take out one moment, which is when it was really tough for me, where I basically felt that this is a challenge, how will I overcome? This is when I felt I was lonely. I mean, reality is, startup is a lonely journey, but that was one moment where I really felt that. So this was when I had stayed in close to 100 or more properties, and I had gone broke. I did not have my family around the same city. If I had called them, they would have called me back to house. So reality was, I had to make sure that I stay back, but at the same time had no money or friends to be able to keep up to myself. So that was the toughest part. But I think the excitement at the same time was about, and that is for any entrepreneur, is just seeing what it can transpire into. And when you know what you can build, it just is extremely difficult to let go of. And hence I persisted, and I'm glad I did. When I was staying in these properties, I came across this one property which was always empty. So it had zero occupancy or lesser. In that context, when I met the owner and I requested him to say, I would like to come here, I would like to brand this hotel, standardize it, and bring it to the guests, here's what he said. He said, you know what, Ritesh, this hotel is empty. If you drive business, this is great. If you don't, I'll throw you out. It's a very clear, logical situation, and I respect him for that. So I started this hotel by being the housekeeping guy, by being the sales guy, and the CEO at the same time. I probably can do housekeeping better than many other hospitality guys in this country. Because during this period, we basically said we will invent the way hospitality was created. So, for example, during this 8 months, we did things that globally has never been done in hospitality. So, for example, in each, so you have seen Ola has this driver side of app where every time you hop into the car, the guy start the trip. That's similar to Oyo. Every check-in that happens at Oyo, we have a tablet where a person can enter the check-in. You know what it does is not only am I able to know what time the consumer is checking in, which room is he going to, we have technologies by means of which the consumer from his room can say order tea, order coffee, and that rings on the tablet. And I can literally, and the customer can check out whenever he wants to. On the background, we had an audit app which we use to audit our hotels. These are geolocation based, so we know if the guy went and audited these hotels. And at the same time, right in the room, we have real-time pictures of the room during audits. So I can literally merge that room number 102, feedback from audits was this. Room number 102, customer X stayed and what was his feedback, and merge it to see how the consumer experience will be. So even without owning that hotel, I'm able to track and develop better guest experiences than I would have even if I owned the hotel. So that is the power of technology. That was one thing that we did. The other thing that we did was being able to innovate around real hospitality practices. The average time of housekeeping in budget hotels across the world is 25 minutes. In Oyo, it is 12 minutes or a couple of minutes ahead of it. The reason why we built this, how we built this efficiency, was we said, you know what, all the standard things in the room, like that of bed, cleaning, etc., will be done. That is 10 minutes, right? But the additional 10 minutes, which is keeping toiletries at the right place, keeping pens at the right place, keeping water bottles at the right place, keeping Wi-Fi card at the right place, we'll remove all of it. We'll keep all of them in a single bag and we'll give that a check-in. So this 10 months, we literally just continued ensuring that we invent the new age of hospitality, not from any other part of the world, but from this country. And during this period, our occupancy also increased to 90 to 95% for that one hotel. When both of these things happened, we felt it is time for enabling the city to have this experience. For 10 months, we continued doing it for 6 months. We continued doing this in just one city, in Gurgaon. And after that, when we knew in Gurgaon more than 90% customers said they had a good or an awesome experience staying with us, we said every person in this country deserves to have a great guest experience, which is where today we operate close to 86 cities with 1,500 hotels, 15,000 rooms, which is probably the largest brand network in this country. This month we're going to do close to 4 lakh nights, and this is growing at a significant pace on a month-on-month basis.
So when did the first funding came along?
The first institutional financing was with Lightspeed. It was a beautiful story. It's been well documented by Maninder at various levels. It was the way it happened was I was in the US. I just become a TL fellow. Maninder reached out and we had a great conversation. You know what I found exciting about him is Maninder is one guy who's a very different venture guy. He's been an entrepreneur himself in the past, has built a company himself. He knows the pains and the efforts it takes to build a company, and hence even though he's on the venture side, he knows what are the things that we are going through, and he committed even in the beginning conversations that Ritesh, even if we don't get to work together, I'm going to help you regardless. So I think that was a catch point. Then I met Beju, who's a MD at Lightspeed India. He's again another brilliant guy, and anyone in the venture industry in India would know that he's extremely respected, tier 1 investment firm. And Beju is over the last year and a half, more than being a great partner, has become a great friend to me as well. So I think in that period where nobody would invest in Oyo, Lightspeed took that aggressive stance of saying they want to back a disruptive company which has not been done globally, because there is no global comparison for Oyo, because it's the first time it's happening globally. Our model, the failure points are many. The hotel doesn't come to your home, so if you don't reach the hotel, that's a point of failure. You go inside, the receptionist doesn't look good, that's a point of failure. You get in the room, if the tap's water is not coming out, that's a point of failure. If electricity is not in your room, that's a point of... So the amount of times of points of failures are so high, and our ability to have built more than 15 apps and products on the background with a high quality team to ensure we audit and constantly make and improve our experiences has just enabled us to not only be the first and a leader, but also be clear, significantly ahead from any other player, both in terms of supply and demand, because almost everyone who's imitated us has not been able to innovate, because what they can do is basically play catch up, because we're just so significantly ahead of anyone else.
And how did the SoftBank funding came along?
I would not get into the intricacies of the journey, but what I would love to share is, Nikesh is a brilliant guy. I think one, SoftBank as a firm is extremely dynamic and successful globally. They are known to back entrepreneurs for a long period of time. I don't want to build Oyo for a couple of months or years. I want to build Oyo for the next 25 to 30 years. I want to build Oyo into something which is extremely successful and solves a large problem. And SoftBank has a background of backing entrepreneurs with that kind of time and background. And other than that, Nikesh is a generally very, very good human being. I think as you build a company for a long term, while you want to work with great firms, the people who are running the business are individuals. And in that, Nikesh is a great human being to work with.
And can you tell me what kind of involvement does SoftBank have in Oyo?
I think the reality is, and not just SoftBank, it's almost every firm, but specifically SoftBank. They're open to support at any point of time. They help us with the insights and guidelines which help us drive the company to a long-term level. But what Nikesh tells us every time is, Ritesh, it's your company. We've believed in your vision of building this brand and solving this large problem. We can help give you feedback and make connects and support systems as and when required, but we expect you to be the person driving the company. And I think that's a very interesting balance of ensuring that you support the entrepreneur, but also push the entrepreneur to lead and build the company going forward. Our imitators started coming only 2 months back. So reality about the ecosystem here is, before 2 months, we did not talk a lot about ourselves in the media. Since we announced our last financing, people woke up to imagine that there is something that was being created in Gurgaon that nobody ever imagined that is so successful. So I'm glad that today we have more than 30 copycats of a brand that we created and solved problems for. It is not a reason of concern or worry, because we have close to 90% or more market share that is growing every month. We continue to grow at a pace that is not even closer in terms of momentum than anyone else. So my belief is, it is strong validation for the problem that we are trying to solve, that there are so many other entrepreneurs who are trying to solve the same thing as well. And I think in the long term, there is going to be space for a couple of them to continue solving these problems, albeit at a very, very small size, but I think there is going to be space for others as well. So it's not a reason of worry or concern for me. I think this is good. It helps educate the market.
Do you think Oyo will move from the budget hotel aggregation space to something like food and beverages sometime in the future?
So first thing is, we don't call ourselves budget hotels anymore, because we have not only Oyo rooms, we also have Oyo Premium. So we are already seeing a lot of stead and demand in our upmarket segment. On the other hand, our belief is, we would like to, in the future, enable that the entire end-to-end guest experience in the hotel is enabled and supported by Oyo rooms. And which is where our belief is, I'm not denying that at some point of time, Oyo might support and enable food and beverages and other categories in the hotel to be delivered to the guests, because it is a direct precedent of a better guest experience for our consumers.
Do you see any consolidation happening in this space?
I think at least for us, we would not be of high interest at this point of time. I think that the only way consolidation might happen is with a few smaller players, because today the quality of experience Oyo is able to deliver and the quality of supplier experience we are able to deliver, the only way to compete with us is to keep joining hands. But reality is, which is what people would perceive, but my personal belief is, even if that happens, that won't solve a problem. The only thing that will solve problems is innovation to solve great experiences. If anyone else other than us innovates and creates better ways of solving guest experiences, I think that is where we will get very interested. That because these are smart guys who have tried to go out and solve real problems instead of just imitating what was created.
Can you let me know what is the percentage of app share in the bookings?
As the overall business, we see more than half of our overall business comes from mobile app today, so which is sizable. So if you look at it from 4 lakh room nights, we're getting close more than 2 lakh room nights from the mobile app, which is huge, and we continue to see this grow rapidly. This is interesting, particularly from the point of view that we launched our app only 2.5 months back. In 2.5 months, we've been able to drive our app to potentially become more than half of our business. We see rest close to 30-35% is being driven in via our web and call center. And I think close to 15% or slightly upwards comes in from travel agencies. I think within the web and call center, there is also a share of travel agents, which is our offline travel agents as well.
So what has been the hiring roadmap for technology? Like, where do you find the right talent for it?
Engineers love coming in and working here because they can see gratification and they can see the true sense of creating big things. In this process, they also see the opportunity to change the way technology will be used in hotels. So we have already built out something that is auto checkout, so that you can walk out of the hotel whenever you want to, which is very similar to the cab experience when you can just walk out of the cab. We've already built out food ordering and room service from your room by using the mobile app. So from your mobile app, you can enable all of these services. And a lot of these kind of products that we're building on the background has not been done globally, not only by a budget hotel chain, but also probably by any other luxury chain, or maybe just with a few luxury chains. I think that is where engineers love coming in and creating big things, and hence you're able to recruit great talent.
So does Oyo plan to venture into the overseas market in near future?
I think our belief is that the question is not whether we plan or not. So reality is we will be existent globally, especially because you're solving a large problem. But the question is when. Our belief is India is a large market. Even with being in 86 cities, the kind of growth that we're seeing here is going to continue for the next few years at least. And with that kind of growth, we don't believe that we should do 10 things a little bit every time. We should do one thing and nail it. India is a huge market, and we would like to become clear leaders by solving huge problems here. And hence we are focused in this market at this point of time.
What is Ritesh Agarwal's vision? What does he dream of?
So our belief is in the next few years, we want to change the way people stay away from home. So imagine today, so that Gurgaon, whenever people work till late at nights, they end up staying at Oyo rooms. Whenever your fuel cost is higher from Delhi, from Gurgaon all the way to driving to Ghaziabad, people end up staying at Oyo because the cost is much lesser. So our belief is we want to create an entirely new market along with ourselves as an extension, and that is something that will change the way people will stay away from home, and that impact is massive. So that's sort of the long-term vision perspective. But I think more from a layman perspective, my belief is we would love to become the India's most loved hotel brand ever created, and we are building everything in that context and experience.
And what is the hiring roadmap for this year? How many new guys we will see at Oyo?
So you will see a significant addition of talent. Close to another 1,000 people will get recruited over the next year, and I'm not saying by the end of December, until the next year, because we are extremely efficient in the use of our resources, even in a large business like this. As we continue to add this talent, there are only two things that we deeply care about. One, extremely high quality of talent who will come in and solve large problems. And the second thing that we deeply care about is people who have the perspective and attitude of solving big problems. If you have high quality along with talent of solving big problems, chances are people might be talking to you. First thing is, I don't consider myself as a poster boy. I think I'm just solving one more problem. But I think in that perspective, any young entrepreneur who's seeing us, one of the things that I deeply believe is perseverance. Is when you're building great companies which are going to be enduring and will solve big problems, and you're not imitating someone, you need to have a lot of perseverance. You need to have a lot of conviction to solve a large problem. So don't worry about it. A lot of people will tell you that what you're doing is extremely wrong. It's not going to work. But if you have perseverance and if you have conviction that you will solve that problem, keep at it, and I'm sure that people will go out and solve those problems.
Thanks a lot for talking to us.
Thank you so much. It was great having you here.